Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the latest installment in the ongoing 12-hour book classroom screencast, being brought to you again, as usual, from my dining room table. Uh, this screencast has to do with the general form for the equation of a circle and transforming it from the general form to the standard form. So the general form for the equation of a circle is this big equation that's sitting up here, x squared plus y squared plus dx plus ey plus f equals 0. D, E, and F are constants, meaning they're numbers. Okay. Coefficients of x squared and y squared in general form have to be 1. If they're not, you have to divide so that they are 1. Just the x squared and y squared terms have to have a coefficient of 1. Okay. So, transforming a circle, the equation from general form to standard form. So we're starting out with x squared plus y squared minus 10x plus 4y plus 17 equals 0. So what I do first is I group the terms together, the x squared and the 10x, put them together, and the y squared and the 4y together, and then subtract the 17, move it to the other side, just get rid of it. So when I group the terms, x squared minus 10x, I leave a space because we're going to be completing the square, and you need space to be able to add the term that you need to add to complete the square. And we're going to complete the square on the y part of the equation as well. So I have the y squared plus 4y, and then the 17, when you move it over, becomes negative 17. Now we go through our completing the square routine. Negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5. You square that, you get 25. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Square that, you get 4. So we're going to add 25 and 4, and we're going to add them also to the right side of the equation. So we add the 25 here, the 4 there, and then 25 plus 4 on the right side. You could on the right side just add 29, but I want to keep it consistent. So when we put it together, we have x squared minus 10x plus 25 plus y squared plus 4y plus 4 equals 12. So when you combine all the like terms on the right side, you get 12. So since we force these to be perfect square trinomials, we have x minus 5 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals 12. Now this is the standard form for the equation of a circle, and from this equation we can now pick off the center is at 5, negative 2, and the radius is the square root of 12, which simplifies to 2 radicals. Let's take a look at another one. We're going to transform this. So if you notice, the coefficients of the x squared and the y squared terms are 2. So the first thing I'm going to do is divide by 2, and then group the terms. So 2x squared divided by 2 is x squared. Negative 8x divided by 2 is negative 4x, and so on. 94 divided by 2 is 47. Negative 47, you move to the other side to positive 47. Okay? We divided everything by 2. Now we go through our completing the square process. So we're adding 4, 49, and then 4 and 49 on the right side. Put it all together. You have x squared minus 4x plus 4 plus y squared plus 14y plus 49 equals 100. So when we come down and take a look at this, again, we force the perfect square trinomials, and now we can find our center is at 2, negative 7, and the radius is the square root of 100, which is 10. So when you turn to the back of the sheet, there were 2 problems here. So pause the screencast and try and do these on your own. Remember, the x squared and y squared terms have to have a coefficient of 1. So you need to divide everything in this equation by 4 before you can start. So pause the screencast and come back to it when you've done the first problem, because there's one under it. You can look at both problems and do them both, and then restart the screencast. Okay, so first thing I did is I divide it by 4 and group the terms. And then move what works out to be an 8, 32 divided by 4, and you move it over, it becomes negative 8. I completed the square. Came out with the string of terms. Perfect square trinomials. They're factored. And we find that the center is at 2, 3, 2, 3, and the radius is simply the square of 5. So let's take a look at the next one. Now this equation, you need to divide everything by 3. So when I divided by 3, grouped them, and then moved 60 divided by 3 is 20, I moved that over to the other side, I came out with this. So we complete the square. We're going to add 4 here, add 25 there. So we're going to add 4 and 25 on the right side as well. And you combine all the terms and put them in the right order. X squared minus 4x plus 4 plus y squared plus 10 plus 25 equals 9. And you combine all that on the right side, you get 9. Factoring the x's and the y terms, just like we've been doing, they're perfect square trinomials. That allows us to determine that the center is at 2, negative 5, and the radius is the square root of 9, which is 3. So go over the screencast again if you need to. This is a pretty procedural process, so review it if you need to. We'll go over the problems in class. And thank you for tuning in to this installment of Math 12R Book Classroom Screencast.